Today I'm reviewing the Marantz Cinema 70S 7.2-Channel home theater receiver. If you want to check current pricing or availability, it's linked below. I've had this receiver in my living room for several weeks, using it with a 5.1.2 speaker setup for movies, streaming, gaming, and music. These impressions come from real use, not just reading specs. Let's set expectations early. This isn't a Pro Cinema preamp and power amp stack, and it's not a simple stereo amp with a soundbar. It's a mid-range AV receiver aimed at immersive surround in typical rooms without adding external power amps. In everyday movie watching, Dolby Atmos and DTS content feel layered and open. Dialogue sits where it should, and overhead effects have presence without sounding scattered. It doesn't make ceilings vanish or mimic a fully wired dedicated theater, but it does widen the sound field compared with basic front channels. Gaming at 4K/120Hz works solidly through the HDMI inputs. Supported consoles switch modes reliably, and I didn't notice obvious lag between on-screen action and sound. It's practical for fast gameplay and doesn't draw attention for being sluggish or disconnected. Streaming music over Bluetooth or HEOS Wi-Fi is straightforward. Everyday playlists play cleanly, and tracks with a lot of detail don't feel hollow. It's not the deepest hi-fi sound, but it's balanced for what this class of product aims to deliver. Thermals and daily usability matter. In normal listening, the receiver stays quietly cool without fans or noise drawing attention. The front panel is readable and the remote isn't confusing for common controls. Switching inputs and adjusting modes feels direct rather than buried in slow menus, something you appreciate in regular use. The 7 amplified channels let you run a typical 5.1.2 setup without extra amps. If down the road you add more speakers or external power units, preamp outputs give you flexibility later. Now a balanced comparison. If your priority is maximum power and independent amplification for every channel, especially in very large rooms or with very low efficiency speakers, separates with dedicated amplifiers will eventually outperform any integrated AVR. That's not a knock, it's the nature of how discrete systems scale. If you're comparing this to a basic soundbar or entry AV receiver, you'll notice deeper staging, better format decoding, and more tuning options. Simpler systems are convenient, but they don't offer the same surround depth or connectivity. This receiver makes the most sense for listeners and viewers who want immersive sound with Dolby Atmos and DTS, use 4K/120Hz devices and streaming sources, appreciate built-in multi-room and wireless options, prefer a single box without external amps for most channels. It isn't aiming to be an audiophile separates rig. It's focused on delivering capable surround sound, flexibility, and everyday usability. Here's the rational evaluation. The Marantz Cinema 70S gives a balanced surround experience with modern HDMI standards and practical streaming. It handles movies and gaming without fuss and stays quiet during long sessions. The trade-off, typical for its class, is modest power per channel compared with separates or higher-end receivers. If your needs align with immersive home theater in an average living room, this feels like a thoughtful option. Check current pricing below and evaluate it against your needs.